Good morning, JP. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing, Jared?
I'm doing great, man. Quite the sunny winter we've been having here the last few weeks. I'm enjoying all the sunlight.
Oh, it's fantastic. Everybody's whistling, birds are chirping. I think everybody's ecstatic with what's going on right now.
I love it, man. Love it. Good stuff. So, yeah, well, appreciate you hopping on with me here. I know it's been a little while since we've done one of these.
It's
But yeah, as you know, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, something that I struggle with is just staying grounded. There's so many different things that you can be, um, pursuing and going after, and ideas to chase. So I think this is a good topic to talk about today. Is just giving back to the community.
Absolutely. I think most folks, when they go into business, at least a lot of the ones that I know that are entrepreneurs, they go into business to help their community. They see a gap and they want to fill that gap. So I think it's a great topic.
Absolutely. And I'll be honest, if anyone needs to hear this, it's probably me because I don't do it enough. So that's the cool thing about these videos is, we kind of share what we're learning as we go. So
Those who teach learn is an old motto from recruiting school. Those who teach are those who learn. So the more we do it, the more we practice it.
so it's not those who can do and those who can't teach. No, I'm just
I think that is the next level of recruiting school. I didn't make it there, but the first level is
kidding.
those who teach are those who learn.
Too funny. So before we jump in here, who were you rooting for on the Super Bowl?
The Bengals,
Yeah, yeah.
the anyone that's turned their back on Los Angeles over the last 42 going on 43 years, I still have a personal vendetta against. Not a big fan of the Chargers. Never made it down to San Diego all that often, but the Raiders and the Rams are it's fair to say they're dead to me. So I was hoping for a nice soul crushing victory by the Bengals, and they just couldn't pull it out. But I mean, impressive. I mean, you got a guy that's been in the NFL for 2 years and leading the team to the Super Bowl. That's pretty good. I hope we see some
Love
big
it.
things out of him in the future.
America loves a good underdog.
Oh, 100%, man. Patton said it right. And they love a good underdog, and they want to see winners. And anybody that doesn't like winners doesn't want to talk to them. So yeah, we like both.
Love it, man. Well, let's jump right in here. So I'll take the first one here. Top 10 benefits of giving back to your community. And again, we're teaching these as students ourselves, not by any means as myself as someone who's doing all this right. So we're going to jump right in here. So number one, it's good for your health. One of the benefits of giving back to your community makes you a healthier person. Studies have shown that those who spend more time volunteering develop a greater sense of purpose in life, thereby changing their outlook entirely. They are much more motivated to live healthier lifestyles in order to achieve their goals. You want to sleep better, eat better, and have well-managed schedules. This is a great way to do it. Volunteering is also linked to better stress management and prevention of chronic health diseases. So if you need another reason to be in top shape, here it is. So I like this one, man. Without going into too much detail, I grew up watching old Westerns, and one of my heroes, man, was Kirk Douglas. I was always a big Kirk Douglas fan, and he was alive here until probably about 2-3 years ago. He passed, and I think he was over 100 when he died. And one of the things that I read from him that always stuck was, if you want to cheer yourself up, if you want to do better, cheer other people up. And an automatic, byproduct of that you're going to get, in a better place yourself. So
100%, right? If you want to go out and look for a friend, you'll find none around. But if you go out looking to be a friend, you'll find friends everywhere. So it's that whole giver's game, man. The more you give out, the more you receive back.
love it, man.
All right. So number two, it gives you a sense of purpose. Futility is one of the biggest reasons that people feel unfulfilled, and they're uh, tied to a cycle that they're in. And I think we all kind of get to where we feel like we're spinning our wheels and we're not getting anywhere. And eventually, these folks feel empty and their lives feel like a bad dream, according to this article. So, giving back to the community gives you a greater sense of purpose. You wake up each day knowing that you're about to do something meaningful, and you look forward to each time you affect positive change in the world. And I completely agree with that. Excuse me. My father-in-law, he's a big volunteer guy. He volunteers everywhere. He volunteers at the church. He volunteers at the hospital. He volunteers at nonprofit organizations. And, he's young. Like, he's a very young person in spirit. And I think a lot of that comes to the point that he's just so busy with projects. He doesn't have time to not feel fulfilled or to not be energized, because he's got to devote that energy to helping others.
It's awesome, man. I like being around people like that because it just really changes your perspective.
Yeah.
So number three, we'll jump to here. It widens your network. Giving back widens your network. So whether you're a student volunteer or a university graduate, volunteering widens your network. This can eventually be advantageous when you are going to apply for a job or a scholarship. The experiences you would have as a volunteer will garner you the extra points to take your career further. Widening your network also means creating more opportunities for you in the future. Being connected with people and organizations of significance puts you in a better position to take your volunteer work as well as your profession further. So for me, this is one of those chicken or the egg things. Obviously you don't give back in order to, help yourself. You give back and then you find yourself in this, community to where, it makes it, harder to leave, and, call that karma. Obviously there's, benefits here, which, we're going over, but how cool is that, what do they say? You're like the average of the 10 people that you're around. And if you are spending time around people who, have a good perspective like this, what a great way to choose, who you're like, who you become like. So
Absolutely. Other givers in that case. So, number four, I completely subscribe to this. It teaches you a better sense of community. So, it's easy to forget the necessity to coexist, that we're all a part of this community together. And when you're caught up with your personal problems, you overlook other factors like community and the area that we live in. However, the community is more than just a big group of people that share the same zip code. And so getting out and being a part of that community helps develop a deeper sense of meaning, and it improves the areas that you live, work in, and play in. And it gives you that feeling of more safety to those that you're around. And I think you and I did a video on that not all that long ago, where we counterintuitively going up and speaking to strangers makes you feel safer, because it reinforces the fact that other people are willing to talk to you. And it goes all the way back to our caveman days of leaving your tribe and going out and looking for food and water and resources. And so it's kind of interesting the way that this ties in together with the video that we did in speaking to strangers and building communities not too long ago.
yeah, so true. And, we talked about how back in the old days, people needed each other, man. If you wanted to, if you were a pioneer and you wanted to put up a house, you needed, 50 other people to help you lift those walls and all that stuff. And that's the tough thing about, being in such a digital age is, we've got our shallow social relationships right here on social media. And which those can be great, to as a way to start something, but they're not, an end all, community. So, in this day and age, we have to make more effort to, get active in a church, get active in a charity, find a way to actually have a sense of community instead of being that person who, drives up to their rear entry garage, avoids their neighbor. I'll never forget one time, I will not say any names, but about 15 years ago, I actually lived in an apartment when Laura and I first got married. And I remember seeing a neighbor come home, and she was going to pull into her little garage, and we were going to wave and say hi. And she actually went and did circles around the lot to avoid human interaction. Again, no names there, but I think we all do that. I think we all get into our zones to where we feel like, we don't need anybody else. And, if there's anything about humans, it's that we need other humans.
Oh, absolutely, man. We need human contact.
So number 5 here of our top 10 reasons for giving back. And by the way, these are not our reasons. This is a study that was done by a guy named Miguel Campiner back in 2007, and really resonated with us here. So number 5 reason, it unlocks your potential skills. A lot of volunteers discover that they'll discover their greatest skills while they're on the field. Many of them came in at a loss on what they could truly contribute. So they're thinking, hey, I don't know this kind of stuff. I don't even know what I have to give. However, it didn't take long until they unlocked their potential and became the best versions of themselves. Suddenly, they became exceptionally skilled at various tasks. So whether you are giving back to a local or international community, volunteering helps you to discover and hone your skills. From here, you can use these skills to expand your horizon and become a better servant leader.
I see that a lot in service organizations like Rotary, Masonry, VFW, where people may come in just to be members of the organization, and then they get tapped for, hey, we need help with fundraising. And people are like, oh man, I am just not outgoing. I don't even know the first thing about fundraising, and I would just be terrible at that. And they're like, yeah, but we need your help. And the next thing you know, it becomes the top fundraiser because there's a genuine sense of going out to connect with people to fill a need. And it is so true that time and time again, you see people rise to meet the challenge, especially in they're part of an organization, they're part of a group that they believe in, where they're willing to leave their comfort zone, and then they find this hidden, untapped talent that just seems to exist inside of them.
I love it, man. And in the spirit of unlocking potential skills, it reminds me of these videos we do here. Speaking in front of strangers, speaking on the internet, things like that. That used to terrify me. And over the years, I've kind of gotten used to doing it on social media. So it's something that's beneficial here, but it's a skill that you can take with you, to somewhere else as well. So.
Absolutely.
And I love the fact that, people are learning these skills, for charities, for nonprofits, and, they're actually enjoying them. Like I've done Habitat for Humanity before, and, you meet these people that just get really into, building houses, and here the guy is or gal is, a CPA somewhere, and, been doing a desk job their whole life. And before you know it, they're rocking the gloves and, have this almost alter, persona that's totally centered around, giving back.
100%. Swinging that framing hammer, and they may have never touched a hammer before in their life.
Yeah. So real talk. This is, I'm sitting here talking about giving back. Somebody needs to message me and say, Jared, come, we've got some kind of event. We've got this going on, because it's easier to talk about the stuff than actually do it. So, something I need to definitely practice more in real life here. So, yeah, all right, JP, I'll let you take number 6.
Loop it in. Yeah. So it shares your expertise. So along with unlocking a new skill set, another benefit of giving back to your community is that it shares your expertise. So to your point, whether you're good at construction, If you've got a wall full of guitars behind you, music, mathematics, sharing your talent can give hope and change lives. In turn, sharing your expertise also further sharpens it. The more you use it, the more people can help you get better at it. And so I shared a video the other day where my hands still shake before I speak in public. And somebody made a comment. She goes, "Wow, you're so polished. It gives me hope that I can become polished as well." And I was talking with Coach Kyle about that conversation yesterday. And he goes, "You get better the more you do it," right? It's all at bats. It's not necessarily about nerves. It's just about a consistent commitment to refining the process. And I think that is absolutely correct. It helps you not only share your expertise, but sharpen your expertise as you go out and you do it for others.
I love it, man. So you mentioned Coach Kyle. So if anybody is interested in broadening your social skills, especially on social media, look up Coach Kyle Draper. Awesome guy, servant's heart. There is our plug. So no,
Puts
but
out a ton of content,
yeah, yeah. And I love how you touched on just kind of, the value of learning in the field. I resonate with that a lot. I really enjoy learning practical applications. I think a lot of people, what's the saying? Done is better than perfect.
100%.
A lot of people think that, oh, one day I'd love to, speak in public, or I'd love to, be more vocal for a good cause or something like that. But they get so caught up in trying to plan it and trying to think, well, once I figure this out, then I'm going to do it. There definitely comes a time to just jump in, and just kind of figure it out as you go.
It's the only way, honestly, the only way to learn, at least in my
Yeah,
opinion. You can read all the books, but until you do it, it's hard to the brain to tie what you're reading to what it looks like in real life. So
absolutely.
you 100% have to get out. And I used to tell my team when I was in management, go fail. They'd say, "How'd
Yeah,
you get to be such a great business banker?" I was like, "I failed miserably a lot." I
yeah.
felt
Technical difficulties here. I don't know if you can hear me, JP, but I'm going to keep going here, and hopefully I'll be able to hear you again here in a minute. So, number 7 reason for or benefit advantage of giving back to a community is a gateway to a new perspective. So, a lot of us have it well. We have it good. We live in comfortable houses, safe neighborhoods. We have constant access to food, water, clothing. Plus, we have all these things that make life much easier. Uh, I think I lost JP there. Hopefully, he'll be back. However, reality is that a lot of people don't have these things. There's billions of people in the world that are living on less than $1 each day. When people do make it their mission to give back, they gain a new perspective. They realize that there's so many helpless people who need help. Furthermore, the experience opens our eyes to what the real world is. It changes our worldview, which is huge. So all of a sudden, these little things that we're worrying about, they become trivial. Very valuable, takeaway from the act of giving back is gaining that new perspective. So again, since I have, there he is, got my wingman is coming back in here. Add to stream. There he is.
all there. Can you
I
hear me
lost
okay?
you, man.
Yeah. I went around the dark side of the moon. It's like Apollo 13.
Too
That,
funny.
that's
Well,
rough.
I just touched on number 7, a gateway to a new perspective. So if you're up for it, I'll let you jump on number 8 there.
I'm gonna do 8 as long as my internet connection will allow it. I guess that's a me side thing. So might have to hardwire this into the landline. So number 8
Better
helps
pay
you grow.
that Wi-Fi bill,
Uh,
JP.
we just need people to buy more policies, man. We pay off the bill. It helps you grow. Volunteering is not easy work, as you alluded to. Swinging hammers as a CPA isn't the easiest thing in the world, but it's immersive and it comes down with its own set of challenges. So, from a lack of funding to being stuck in some of those socio-political turmoil type of situations, it can get extremely difficult. However, the reward of surpassing those obstacles is unmatched. And I completely agree with that. Being able to stretch and grow and do it in a volunteer environment helps you as a human being. You open yourself up to the challenges and to the experiences, and you become willing to learn and to making sacrifices. So, most folks that go out, especially on mission trips where you go somewhere, you come back as a changed person. So absolutely volunteering helps you grow.
I love it, man. It's so easy to look at giving back as just a one-sided thing that, oh, I'm just going to donate my time, my efforts, my skill set. When in reality, it's definitely a two-way streak. And, for many, I would imagine you actually gain more, than you give. So how
I think
cool
you
is
do
that?
in most cases.
Good stuff. So we are almost done here. Number 9 reason or advantage of giving back is it gives you new knowledge. So whether you are wanting to learn more about, you know, um, issues, in the world, current world events, or discover how to build houses, giving back to the community teaches you a thing or two. It can inspire you to volunteer by conducting research studies or even funding your very own program. Whether you are working with other volunteers or not, working by yourself, this is something that is a big benefit to just learn. Um, so this is another thing you can take back home with you. This is another benefit that you can use to your advantage and share it with others as well. So I really like that.
Yeah, and I think to close it out, it boosts your self-esteem. So one more benefit of giving back to your community is that it boosts your self-esteem. There's nothing more self-affirming than knowing that you're doing something good. Plus, it makes you feel good. So now that you're doing something more meaningful in your life, you develop a better sense of self, and you begin to discover that life isn't just about gaining the approval of others or striving not to be judged. It's about doing something that matters to you and to the people who need it most. And I think that summarizes, you don't get into volunteerism for yourself, but there's a lot of healthy benefits that you tend to take home after the experience. We've done things as simple as going and passing out food to the homeless in Dallas, and when we travel in San Antonio, and we do it with our kids so that they see that we've been really blessed. We have more than we necessarily need, and we've been very fortunate. And so going and giving some of that to others has been a really impactful experience for them, and something that sticks with them. And again, that wasn't the intent. The intent is to take them out and to have them serve others, but there's definitely something that they take away from that experience, even if it's a recognition that we have more than we may deserve, and that we've have a lot of abundance, and it gives you time to stop and pause and to see that and acknowledge that, and it gives you a sense of gratitude as well.
It's awesome, man. Is it possible to gain confidence and humility at the same time?
Oh, I wrote something the other day where I said I'm extremely humbled by the success I've had. I'm extremely grateful for what I've been given, but I also know that there's more to achieve. And
Yeah.
we talked about that before. It's a balance, right? There's
Yeah.
a balance between being humble and grateful
Yeah.
while still being aggressive and driven.
And I think that's very true. I think that, in doing things like this, you can learn, you can get confidence, from that purpose and from that skill set. And at the same time, you can actually increase humility, because, um, man, it's so easy to just get stuck in our little worlds and to think, hey, everything that I have is because of me and I work hard and this and that. But there is so much that contributed to, me having a blessed life that I had no control over. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do anything to be born, in a wonderful free nation. My parents looked out for me, taught me really good things. Were born with talents, things like that we didn't, obviously you can improve your skills, but talent is something that, you're born with. And, that's humbling for me. That's humbling to get around other people who weren't born with, the privileges that I were or that I was. So, that's an interesting takeaway for me that, you can gain confidence while at the same time becoming more humble, and learning more about how, life isn't fair. The world isn't fair. And those of us that are blessed, um, will hopefully want to give back, to others who are, born in different circumstances.
Absolutely. I think that's a good summary.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Well, that's all I got. You don't have a good dad joke for us for the road or anything, do you?
No, I heard one the other day, and I wish I heard it yesterday. I have this really great memory until it comes to dad jokes.
Yeah. Did you, man? Did you hear about the guy who misspelled a name on a cemetery marker?
I did not.
It was a grave mistake.
It was a great mistake. Absolutely.
All right, JP. Appreciate
Thanks
your
for having
time,
me.
man. As always, guys, if anyone needs insurance here in North Texas, hopefully JP is your first call. Yeah, thanks so much for watching us, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks a bunch. See you, everybody.
Cheers.